This presentation is to show how to add OpenConfig BGP support on a Junos device. The setup I'm going to use has two routers, BGP1 and BGP2, connected with an AE interface. BGP1 runs Junos only, and it is configured with the Junos BGP configuration to set up a peering connection to BGP2. And I'm going to use OpenConfig BGP instead of the Junos syntax to configure the BGP2 router. Before we do that, let's take a look at the OpenConfig BGP module. This is the OpenConfig BGP YANG file. It has a top-level container BGP knob with 3 children: global BGP configuration, peer group, and neighbor. Now let's see OpenConfig BGP in action. On BGP2 router, BGP is not configured and is not running. First, we have to add the OpenConfig BGP package by using the request system software add command. By adding the OpenConfig BGP package, Junos compiles the BGP YANG files on box and augments the device configuration schema with the OpenConfig BGP content. At the same time, the translation scripts bundled in the package are activated so that at subsequent configuration commit times, any configurations entered using the OpenConfig namespace will be translated into the Junos syntax for Junos process consumption. As you can see, the OpenConfig BGP package is now added to the system with these YANG files and the OpenConfig BGP Slack script, which will act as the translation script. Now, when we go to the configuration mode, we can see that the OpenConfig BGP top-level container BGP is added to the configuration schema with the 3 children global, neighbors, and peer groups. Switching to use the netconf connection to add the BGP configurations onto this router. Using the added config RPC, we can add the BGP configurations in the OpenConfig namespace onto this router. Just like any configuration changes on the Junos system, it requires a commit to take the configuration into effect. After commit, we can now use the get RPC to examine the committed configuration of the router. The BGP configuration in OpenConfig BGP syntax is indeed part of the committed configuration. Going back to the CLI, we can see that the OpenConfig BGP configuration in the CLI clear text format. And with the show BGP summary command, we can see that the peering session is created. Let's take a look at the configuration in details. When we look at Junos protocol's BGP configuration, we still don't see any Junos BGP configurations. That's because the translation script, which takes the OpenConfig BGP configurations and translated them into Junos BGP configurations, placed the results in the transient space of the configuration database. we can see the effective configuration using the pipe display translation scripts command to examine. With the pipe display translation scripts command, we can see the effective BGP configurations on the system that Junos uses to create a BGP peering session. This is a brief demonstration of how to add OpenConfig BGP support onto a Juno system. Thanks for watching.